All right, guys, we're live. Welcome in. So, I figured today we'd go over some basics on gel polish 101. Um, I'm behind the chair. I really don't do any air dry polish anymore, on hands at least. I mean, it's still there for pedicures for some people, but really, I mean, if we're honest, it's kind of air dry polish is really a bit archaic. When you can do your gel polish, get it done, get it dry, and ready to go. And this is going to be for like your DIYers. It's going to be for professionals, students. This is really everybody. Let's jump right into it. The first thing, when we start talking about our gel polish, we have all the different tops, we have the bases, we have lots of different types. You have one-step polishes, you've got your three-step polishes, you've got your structured manicure, your furs. Um, there's lots of different choices for you to have. So, hold on one moment. This is what happens when you go live, guys. Um, your iPad keeps going into my ears. All right. So, all right. Yeah, that's just the way it works. Technology is always here to make our lives easier, right? All right. So, step one, when we're talking about our gel polish, and honestly, DIYer, enthusiast, professional, the first thing you really need to start thinking about when you're working DIYers is always going to be your maintenance. Like, you have to think a few steps ahead. How are you going to take care of this? How are you going to remove it? Are you a soak off? Are you going to be a filing off? There's different things to really take in consideration. All right, so let's start with our tip. Cut off our side. I always like to cut off my cuticle. It gives a better finished look on Sally when we're done. And then I just come in with my abrasive, and I just like to smooth her out. I don't know. It kind of, if it's too like jinkety and raggedy, it gives me ick when it's all done. You can skip this if you don't want, if you didn't want to do it. I just like it to look finished. All right, so get our tips in there. Remember on Sally, you need 3 good clicks to make sure she's lined up all the way in there. Make sure, click, click, click. There we go. All right, so let's dive into this. Step 1, this is for everything. Prep is everything. It doesn't matter if you are doing any nail enhancement. And yes, gel polish is still an enhancement because you are putting something on the nail. So step 1 in all of our prep for everything is to go in and let me get my pusher. And we're just going to push our cuticle back. And yes, I know, Sally doesn't have a cuticle, but we're going to do it just to establish that habit, to make sure we do it every single time. So we push her back. And then we're going to come in with our arbor band. And I use the Young Nails, so it's a 150 grit abrasive on your band. She's got that zebra kind of look in the chuck. And let's go. Our range is anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 RPMs because we are on the natural nail. And you don't want to have to worry about hurting the natural nail. You don't want to like saw it off. Just scratch it and make contact with it. So we're going to go into our overhand grip, right? So we're going to come like this, overhand grip, so I can see the full amount of surface that I can work on. I know we all start out thinking that we have to work in this underhand. And what'll happen is that when you work in your underhand, you wind up eventually one hand bumping into the other, and you don't have that same freedom or ability to move throughout everything. So go ahead. So really what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are, see what'll happen if you are underhand, you can't get all the way over. One hand will lock into the other. Go into our overhand grip, thumb comes down, make contact, find that point of fulcrum with your working hand or your dominant hand, and now I can move and nothing will get in my way, and I have complete control over the entire surface area that I'm working on. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's bring that screen back a little bit more because I think it's gonna get, oh, it's a little too close for this. All right, so we're gonna go into our prep. First thing we're gonna do is go around that cuticle area. We say we do it twice. We go around it first, just to make sure if there was any kind of buildup, any of that keratin on the nail surface, we get that off. We do it the second time to make sure the entire nail has been prepped and there's nothing on it. Light scratches on the nail. You're really just making contact with the nail. And we're just gonna tickle it all the way down. Tickle, make contact. One direction coming towards yourself. And just contact, tickle, tickle over the entire surface of the nail. And you can move your client around. Like if you move her, you don't have to move your body and contort your own self. You've got to sit in this chair for quite a while. And come around, come around. And honestly, when you're doing this, if you're doing this in salon and they're already coming in with like naked nails, this part, the prepping, really shouldn't take you more than like 5 minutes, give or take. It's super easy. You don't really need to get in there and go crazy. Just make contact with the nail. Now, this is for my DIYers or my beginners who are still learning to work with your e-file, because I get this sometimes like, well, I'm learning how, I don't know how to, use my e-file. I'm just going to do it on myself. Well, yeah, you can prep with your hand file. It's not going to be as tight as you need it to be, but you can still get it done. So with your e-file, or I'm sorry, with your hand file, again, I'm going to come in with 150 grit. So I'm going to use the 150, and I'm going to use literally just this amount of the file, right about here. Okay, echo. That's right, echo. We're live. Stuff is going to happen. So, and for this, I'm really just going to ride, single stroke, ride around that cuticle, and I move Sally as I go. And you can see I'm getting in that same area, real close to that cuticle, not on her skin. I don't want to cut her, it's getting your nails done shouldn't hurt, It's a luxury service. It shouldn't hurt. All right, and I'm going to do it a second time just to make sure. Remember, first time is to get anything off the surface. Second time is to make sure it's prepped. Come all the way around. And then, same thing. I'm just going to tickle the surface of the nail and just ride it down, ride it down. There's not a lot of pressure here. You're not trying to damage or remove all these layers off of the nail plate. Gel just doesn't like to stick to a smooth surface. So you just have to get enough of that natural shine off of the nail. So either way, can totally get it done. And again, prep is the same. So everything we do, acrylic, hard gel, soft gel, builder gel, all of it's done the same way. Remove any dust with your manicure brush, and then you can come in with your swipe. Come in with your swipe from the cuticle towards the free edge. That way you don't just gunk up all of that debris into the sidewalls. And that's just going to help give you a little bit of a pH balance change and get the nail prepared for protein bond. All right, protein bond. This is the most important ingredient when we do any of our services. So this is where it's important that you think about, well, how am I going to maintenance this? For all of my learners, if you are going to use an e-file to do your maintenance, you can take that protein bond and go over the entire surface of the nail. That works just fine. Don't flood it. You don't want it on the skin. If you overdo this, yes, it will lift. You'll create your own challenges here. Now, for my DIYers or for my beginners, if you are soaking off in your maintenance and you're not going to file it off with your e-file, with your protein bond, really, you only need to do your free edge. If you know that your client might be a heavier lifter, you can do a little bit around the sides, but really the free edge is all you need. And the reason why, because it's always good to know why, the reason why is if you do it all over the surface and you try to soak it off, you're just going to be soaking it forever. It's not going to come off as easily because Protein Bond is that good at, at its job to really make sure that it adheres itself down. All right, so now there's like 100 steps to everything we do. So we're going to come in and choose our base coat. On a natural nail, not an enhancement, just a standard natural nail, you have to start with your base coats, right? So I'm going to use my manicure coat. If you are in a pinch, you could go in with conversion base. I mean, I still want to use regular manicure, but if you didn't have it and this is what you have, go for it. It still works. It'll do the job. If you needed to fortify the nail, you can go in with your fiber gel. Fabulous product. Love this one. Make sure you're charging if you're using this one. All right, so we're going to go in with our base coat. You guys, thinking ahead, how are you going to maintenance this? What are you going to do next time you see your client? If you're filing it off, we want 2 coats for our base coat. So we're going to come in. I'm going to start from the free edge, start working it up towards the cuticle. When I get closer to the cuticle, I'm going to slow my roll down. This is important. Look at the detail of this. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to apply more pressure at the tip of my brush and gently push the brush towards the cuticle and then light pressure pulling it down. The reason why we do that is it'll just lightly push itself up without getting all over the skin. And then light strokes. Again, because repetition is the key to everything. Everything is detail, right? So I'm going to come in my bottle. I'm going to slowly wipe away the side of the brush I'm not using. Free edge. Work my way up towards the cuticle. And then from here, I'm going to slow my roll. Look at the pressure. See how the brush opens up with the pressure? Let me bring that camera in a little bit. Bring that camera in a little bit so we can see the detail, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come in, right? We free edge towards the cuticle, slow my roll, add some pressure. That brush opens up and then just gently bring it up to the whole cuticle area and then bring slight strokes down, light strokes down to blend. I know our textbooks say 3 strokes. No, it takes what it takes. It takes what it takes to do a great job. Never sacrifice quality. All right, same thing. Now this nail is for our beginners or our DIYers, right? Well, let me bring the camera back out. So, same thing. We're going to put on 1 coat. Bring her all the way in, all the way down. Technique doesn't change. And now we're going to let her cook. So what we're going to do, we're going to do 60 seconds in the light. I'm going to use our LED light for it. In she goes. Now, honestly, what you're going to do behind the chair is you're going to do one hand, it goes into the lamp. As long as it takes to do the other hand, so you're always in motion. One hand's going to be in the lamp, doing its thing, cooking around. The other hand is being worked on, it goes in. because generally it's going to take you about 30 to 60 seconds to apply from pinky to thumb while one hand is working. All right. I know. See my lamp. This is my trusty Young Nails lamp. All right. Here we go. Now, when you're filing off, when you're going to use filing off as your maintenance technique, you want to use 2 coats of the base. And the reason why we want to use the 2 coats of the base is because you want to be able to give yourself permission to file to the base. So you want to make sure that you've built up that base so you can stay off of the natural nail as much as possible, because you don't want to damage or take too much off of the nail plate. So these 2, I'm just going to do my second coat. Same technique, free edge, work my way up, slow my roll, tuck it in, and then back in the light to finish quickly. I hope that makes sense for everybody. Sometimes the devil's going to be in the detail, right? So if you're going to be soaking off the nail, you don't need so many layers. You in, out, done. And then that way you're not sitting there trying to soak it off forever. Gotta always, I can't say it enough. It's very important to think in advance. It's great to be able to do great nails, but you have to be able to think, how am I going to maintenance this for the next time my client comes back? Or if you're doing it on yourself, how am I going to do this again so I can do it again and again and again? Be in the return business kind of concept. All right, so we have our base coats on. I thought it'd be fun to bring out some fun summer colors, right? So we know that like butter yellow is so hot right now. For the yellow neon though, on this one, if I really wanted a butter yellow, I'd mix it on my palette with a little bit of white just to kind of mellow it out a little bit. But I figured yellow would be fun to play with. Pink Neon 101. And then I also thought it'd be fun to play with some of the Go Time. I love the Go Time. It's a one-step polish. Technically, it does not need the base coat. It does not need a top coat. It's really 1 or 2 layers for the opacity and done. Great for my DIYers. If you are DIY, if you're working on yourself, you want to keep it easy, you want to keep your costs down for home use, love, love, love this product. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. All right, so let's go in with our Pink Neon. Generally, it's our 3-step color, and we're going to do our application the exact same way. So in the bottle, and if you notice, like, you wipe away the side of the brush that you're not using and try to create a pearl on the other side. Where are we? We try to create a pearl on the side that you are using for about the size you're going on top of. Not too much, not too little. Gee, that porridge was just right. All right, same technique. Find your place of balance. Clean lines from free edge. Work it up towards the cuticle and then slow your roll. Gently go up to the cuticle and then some light blending strokes all the way down. Beautiful, right? Nice, easy. Now we use that protein bond, and that protein bond, what it's going to do is, like, I know everyone starts off, oh my God, you got a cap, you got a cap. You can if you want to make sure you see it, but that protein bond, it's going to make sure it stays on beautifully all by itself. Let's check out the yellow, because that's a pretty color. Why not? Same thing. Go all, oh, let's do it this way. So I'm going to come all the way in, and I'm going to wipe away just one side, just the one side. If I have way too much paint on there, I don't know if you guys can see this. If you have way too much paint on there, what you're going to do is just make a little circle around the nozzle of the bottle and then wipe it away. So the idea is no paint on one side. The side you're going to use has all the paint. Yeah, that's way too close. Way too close. All right, let's see. All the way in. Wipe away the side you're not going to use. The slower you go, the more paint you'll wind up pulling off of your brush. So if you have a brand new bottle and it's way too wet, just do it a little slower and you'll pull off more paint. All right. Same thing, repetition, do it over and over and over again. You have to do it 10,000 times to be a master. So they say. I think it was Confucius, but I can be confused. All right, slow your roll all the way up. You know, other little things, like for everyone who's watching lots of different tutorials and learning how to watch and learn from it, you can always tell someone's pressure by how much a brush opens up. If you notice the brush is not really opening, it's not a lot of pressure, it's floating. If you press down, you'll all of a sudden see the hairs of the brush, it's getting bigger and bigger. That's pressure. Most of what we do, especially in painting, is all about how much pull and pressure. All right, in she goes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna cook her or flash her, and then we'll go into the go time. Go time is super cool. Go time though is cured 60 seconds. I do not recommend, you know, some people want to flash it and do a little bit just to harden its place. With your go time, just go for your full 60 seconds every time you use it. The other thing that's really cool about go time, I don't think we said this yet, is it's tack free. So again, it's another real good point as to why it's super easy. If you are starting out, if you're a DIYer, if you're just building your own home personal and you don't want to have like 50 different products. Now, between you and me, I will still use a base coat. Whenever I use Go Time, I don't use a top coat though. I let it ride the way it is. All right. Same thing though, your application is exactly the same. All the way in, wipe away the side you're not going to use, and then go in with our polish. The opacity on Go Time is great though, because I can tell you there have been times where real quick service, I've used one coat just to get something on somebody. I'll do a base coat, but just one coat because it has enough opacity in most of their colors where one coat, one coat will get you there. But it's like anything. Anytime you're doing your gel polish, we do the second coat for opacity. First coat gives you the whole foundation. All right, very cool. That's super pretty already, all on its own. I love that green is popping up on everything. I'm seeing it everywhere right now, on social, in clothes, on nails. Super cute look. All right. Yeah, I'm messy too, but that's all right. I got a little bit on my bottle, so I'm just going to take a little bit of my isopropyl alcohol and just wipe that right off. You don't want to be touching uncured gel. All right, so once she's cooked for her 60 seconds, you can go back in and do all of your second coats. Easy breezy. Second coat is just for opacity, right? When you're working with the super dark colors though, if you're working with like a black or a really opaque white, the trick for that, super thin. Be prepared. It's better to do like 3 coats of super thin and let it cure brilliantly and have the longevity of it than to try to put on too much too fast and it start to rumple up or have it peel away. You know, clients will forgive a lot of things, but like broken nails or just coming right off, no, that's not okay. You need it to last your 2 weeks. Anything beyond 2 weeks though, that's your bonus. That's when you're like, oh my God, my last nail tech couldn't get my nails to ever last. You're like, yeah, I got this. I got Protein Bond. All right, 2 coats. get the opacity you're looking for. Oh no, I got a little bit on Sally. So it's okay. Things happen. Once in a while, it's going to happen. So all I'm going to do once I have that on there, I'm just going to take my little tool, right? And if I got a little bit on her, it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to wipe it off before I cook it. Just get it off before you cook it. Clean up your line. Very nice. That's the other thing I love about Manicure is it really doesn't bulk out as you're working with it. You'll be able to keep your shape pretty easily. All right, and then we can go in with our go time if you really wanted a second coat, give it like a nice opacity, or if you just want to do it so you have that extra layer on there, so you're building a little bit of volume on the nail. It's still going to be super thin. It's not acrylic. And you notice I move my client. I move her hand so I can see on the sides. And then...
Really, honey?
Who? Oh, Nani. Oh, hey, girl. Thank you. This is Instant Vacay. I love this color. It does not get enough credit. It's a really pretty summer green, I think. I should put like a... This is pretty for like the palm trees. All right. So, second coat goes on. Really pretty, easy to do. And then she cooks for her 60 seconds, right? And again, when you're working, it's just, ooh, what happened? Look at the film. Wait, I swear that's not what my hands really look like. Ew. All right, so I don't know what just happened there. All right, so what you want to do is like once one hand is in the lamp, you're just painting on the other hand. There's no stop time. Nails, you're always moving. You know, if you have them both in the lamp, then it's like, oh, yay, I'm going to do some housekeeping. I'm going to start capping everything up, putting it all away. I spill things. I've spilled more glitter than I care to admit to. So a little housekeeping, get everything set up, and then I'm going to pull out my top coats. So, Manicure top, this is my go-to. Love this one. You know, could you use the conversion? Yeah, if it's what you have, you know, it'll get the job done. It's fine. But I do love my Manicure top. It does not bulk out. Super shiny, easy to use. All right. It does have a dispersion layer. So all the way in, wipe away the side you're not going to use. Free edge all the way up. All the way up. And then light strokes to blend it down. Whoop, there's that free piece of glitter right there. Hold on. Love it when that happens. Hold on. This happens in real life too. So you can just work it down a little bit. I'm just going to take my little friend here and just work her out. There you go. Get her off. There. Nice. I know. It happens. I do everything I can to try to not get so much glitter on my wands, but I do so much work with glitter. It is truly... I'm going to find glitter for the rest of my life. They're going to put me in a casket one day, and there's going to be glitter.
Yes. Yes.
There's going to be glitter. It's just the way it's going to happen for sure. Now, do I have to put it on the Instant Vacay on the go time? No, she's done. She's no sticky. She is done, ready to go. Could I? Yeah, sure. You could, but you don't have to. Ooh, that shines so pretty. All right, in the lamp she goes. Get her going. Now, so, I mean, pretty much once she comes out, it's going to be remove the dispersion layer, that little sticky. Remove that with your swipe or your isopropyl alcohol, your Manicure cleanser. Get that taken care of. Now, could we do more? Yeah, we can do a lot more because now it should be nice and sticky. So we can come back in. We can do a glitter press on top of that. You know, add something sparkly. Why not? Oh my God, here's my new favorite color. Hold on. Where's my new favorite color? This one. Ooh, y'all know I am like usually a hardcore Young Nails girl. But this Goldie Girl from Gemini Cosmetics, Gemini Nevada Cosmetics. Oh my God, so pretty. Wait, look at this. I'm gonna spill it everywhere. I know. I don't know if you can truly see it, but the glow on this is absolute fire. So let's do this because she could be ready to go. But you know what? We were talking. We're going to add just a little bit of razzle dazzle. So we're just going to add a little bit and do our glitter press, right? So get her on there, wipe it down, light, light, light. And then you can come in and just lightly, so it's all flat. So it's flat. Otherwise, you'll be here like forever trying to smooth it out later. I'm just gonna make sure there's nothing on the sides. So you get those sharp edges sometimes with glitter, right? Oh, so pretty. So we can do that too. Sure, why not? I can put her back in because that dispersion layer is still there. It's a little sticky. So when you do like a glitter press, you just press that right in. And then you can put her back in the light, and what it'll do is it'll kind of like go into that dispersion, cure up just a little bit, so less likely to get all over the wand or all over and start, sharing it more than it needs to. All right. Now, when I do a glitter press, I do like to do at least one, sometimes two more layers of my top coat. If you're using air dry polish, please use 2 coats. That first coat the glitter's just gonna absorb it. And that second coat just for shine. Here we go. Oh, that looks really pretty. I love Goldie Girl. Such a pretty color. It's such a pretty color on just about everything you put it on, the way it reflects. I know. It is not gonna give me justice in a picture. But it's I'm obsessed with it right now. I think everybody needs to be wearing that color. All right, 30 seconds in. I'm sorry, 60 seconds in. You do one hand, then you do the other. We do some light housekeeping. Start putting all the stuff away. I know my nail table starts to get very small the more I work. So it's a chore. It's a challenge to try to keep everything nice and tidy. All right, so I'm going to come in. I'm going to take a little bit of cotton. I'm going to go in with my swipe. And we're just going to remove the rest of that dispersion layer. There is no dispersion layer on our Go Time, so that's perfect. All that. We put a little bit of cuticle oil on there. Make sure she's nice and hydrated. We do a little bit around the cuticle and massage that in. It's a luxury service, so you can massage everything and make sure you come underneath the nail to get into that hyponychium of all the skin. All the skin. I'm going to be wearing Goldie Girl for the rest of the evening. It's going to be all over me. That's okay, I love it. Okay. So, and there's our 3 colors. Super easy, fast, and long lasting. I mean, you're going to get 2-3 weeks out of that. Super easy. Remember, the whole trick is knowing how you're going to handle it in the next 2-3 weeks when they come back or when you want to maintenance them. Are you going to file it off? Do you need 2 coats? Where are you going to put that protein bond? Or are you going to soak it off and hand file and go from there? All right, guys. Any questions? All right, friends. Well, thanks for watching my live. Yay. I know it was a real quick one, but gel polish is super easy, super fast. Just takes practice. Do it over and over again. Oh, that looks so cute. Really pretty. I know. Let's check our client profile. Client view is so important. Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Could you? Oh no. I had a little something on there. Could you? You can come in if you wanted to. Tighten up your line. Oh no, it bulked out a little bit. You can do this. It is not the reason why your polish is gonna peel off. If you used your Protein Bond, you can do some light touches just to make sure your lines are nice and super tight, nice and clean. Go from there. Sure. You're not hacking at it. You're not sawing it off. Just little light touches. Make those lines really nice and clean. Check your neighbors. Yeah, she's looking good. All right, friends. Thank you for joining my live today. Come back. We'll see you soon. Like, subscribe, follow, share, tell a friend.